to a knee injury, and he's out tonight as well. What more can you tell us about his status?
George, I'm told an MRI in the last 24 hours on Stephen Curry showed no structural issue in his right knee, but he is dealing with persistent swelling and pain in that knee. The team is describing it as runner's knee as the injury. So Stephen Curry works out individually as he did over the All-Star break, and afterwards he deals with pain and swelling. And so both the Warriors and Curry need all of that to subside before he can try to start to play again. And it's uncertain whether that will be days or weeks more away for Stephen Curry.
Now, the Warriors taking on the Celtics tonight at Chase Center, and Slater is there for us right now. He can't miss any more games to be eligible for the postseason awards, Anthony. So how concerned beyond that is the organization for Steph Curry's knee situation?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a good news, bad news type of situation. Sean's mentioned it. MRI is clean, so there's no underlying structural issue that is of graver concern. But this is something he's been dealing with over, about a month now. It originally popped up in Minnesota during a workout the day that game got postponed. And, he played through it a little bit. He played a few games. He was having a good game against the Pistons right behind me. And then he just started bothering him again. He limped off, like you said, missed the last 5 games. And, as we still try to figure out, can they creak this door open in the fading Steph Curry era? Can they get back to one contention, have one playoff run at some point? This is the kind of news, the kind of concern for a guy who's turning 38 next month, where it feels like that window is creaking even further shut. And tonight was supposed to be a little bit of a debut celebration of their newest chapter, with Kristaps Porzingis expected to play his first game as a Warrior. They're going to feature him offensively. I'm hearing very good things about how he's looked behind the scenes, but we wanted to see Porzingis next to Steph Curry. Not going to see that tonight because Steph Curry just can't get back yet.
Certainly a shame, and we'll certainly keep posted on what's going on with Steph. Fellas, thanks for the time. Appreciate it. All right, even in his 17th season, Steph Curry moves the needle for the Warriors. When he's in the lineup, they play at nearly a 50-win pace, and that drops to lottery levels when he's out. The two-time MVP sat down with Malika over the All-Star break. Let's take a listen.
Here's Curry, deep triple, it's gone!
That is ridiculous.
You missed the last 5 games before the All-Star break with runner's knee. How are you feeling now, and what does the maintenance of that look like over the course of the season?
There's not really a predictable kind of timeline in terms of rehab, but every day's been getting better. I'm hoping I'll be back soon after the break. The rest part is hard to actually get back to 100% so that I can get back out there and do my thing. But I'm getting close, though.
The trade deadline, it has come and gone. You all added Kristaps Porzingis. A stretch big is something that this team has needed almost your entire tenure, really. Mm-hmm. Where do you assess what you can do this season?
This has been such a unique year, but as long as we can find our way into a playoff series, we feel like we are a tough out for anybody at the top of the West. And with Porzingis here, hopefully he's healthy and able to be out there consistently, because we know what he's capable of doing, and a new dynamic that he gives us as a stretch big next to Draymond. Al Horford for our front line that is wise and has so much experience and versatility there. But then our young guys are coming up. Moses has been playing unbelievable. Melton being healthy, being back, helping us. So all those pieces are starting to align. With Jimmy going out, that was an emotional moment in the season, not just for him and where he's at in his career, and hopefully he comes back healthy.
You've had teammates have these really serious, unfortunate, catastrophic injuries. Now, Jimmy, having that be emotional for you. When you get that sort of call, does it feel like being so close and now saying we're back to not square one, but having an outside shot versus adding number 5?
It's like when you come into a season, you have an idea of what this specific team is capable of and what it's going to take to reach our full potential, meaning be relevant in the championship kind of conversation. And we didn't get off to a great start, but it was kind of manageable in terms of understanding where we could get better. And then we had a 12, 15 game run where we were that team again, and the identity was starting to show. And then Jimmy Gill goes down, and it's a tough blow. Being able to adapt and still figure out how we can put things together with the guys that we have to stay in that conversation. It might not look the same as it has in years past, but the belief is still there. That gives you, something to get excited about down the stretch of the season.
Golden State Warriors are on top of the NBA world. The Dubs dynasty is still very much alive.
Knowing that the identity of this group, of your career, has been four-time champion, how do you balance that with still finding joy in where you are and what's realistic right now?
I've had just gratitude and appreciation for the journey, but I still love to play basketball, like it's just at its core. I still love the work that goes into it. It's my happy place when I'm out there on the court, so that belief and that joy that I try to play with, I think is contagious, for our team. I'm still motivated to, keep chasing, that elusive fifth championship and that opportunity. The challenge is to stay in the moment, enjoy playing basketball, enjoy the fight of competing, night in, night out.
So Steph said he's still motivated to keep chasing that elusive fifth championship. He turns 38 in a month. And welcome back in, by the way, to the studio alongside Chiney Ogumake and Danny Green. I'm George Sedano. So Chiney, I'll start with you here. After it's all said and done, do you believe there's a path for Steph here?
Yes, there is. But I also think, you're laughing, I also think that the Warriors have one more big swing to get it right. You mentioned his age, turning 38. But we don't talk about how Steph Curry is similar to LeBron James and at this point in his career, taking care of his body, his cardio, upping his fitness. He still has a lot of gas left in the tank. And also, this is a guy who's still at the top of his game, averaging 27 points per game, and also has made 175 threes, third in the NBA. Mind you, he's missed 16 games. So if he played all the games, he'd be right at the top of it. The Warriors need to get it right, especially to sort of close this chapter. And I also think that coming out of All-Star break, I actually had I was able to see Draymond Green, and they all sort of know that nobody's safe other than Steph. They understand that the future is all centered around him and getting this roster right because they want to be able to maximize the last few years, and that means everyone else is auditioning to be a part of that final chapter.
I'm going to say no. Not many times do I disagree with my LED partner here, but on this one, I'm going to disagree. They're going to need a whole revamp of this group to get them back. Even if they got a Giannis, a miraculous trade to happen, I still don't think that puts you in championship contention. It makes you a lot better, but in the West, you got OKC, you got San Antonio, you got even Houston. Like, there's other teams, there's a lot of giants out there with depth. They got to get some pieces around him to make them, back in championship contention. Now, the key word that I saw that he said was motivated and not desperate. So I don't think he's needs to go somewhere else. He's not wanting to leave. But right now, I just don't think they need to do a lot of changing to make them back to what they once were.
But I think that speaks to my point because other than Steph, I think that everyone else understands that you have to be able to play at the top of your game.
Anything is possible.
But also,
anything is possible.
Secondly,
but I'm going to say no.
I will always be your LED partner.
Okay. And listen, that's fine. I don't think he has to leave. If Steph retires and doesn't win a fifth title, I think we're all going to be just fine. Hey, Steph Curry, an amazing career. Nothing's going to change if he wins a fifth to a fourth, in my opinion of him.
But do you think he's a guy that can still win a championship based off of the talent he provides if he gets another good one or two?
Well, they would need a better roster,
exactly.
But I just don't know. I mean, they have 4 first-round picks. They tried to trade him for Giannis. So maybe perhaps there still could be a path, but it's going to take a lot of heavy lifting and some luck.
This will be the biggest offseason for them because it will be dictated then and probably not now.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, tonight the Warriors have the second-seeded Celtics. Boston has been without Jason Tatum all season, but that hasn't slowed them down to this point. Boston has a top 5 offense and a top 10 defense. The only other team in the league to do that is the Thunder. So, Chiney, the Celtics have been one of the biggest surprises thus far this season. All right? Tatum out, the Achilles injury. How have they had this kind of success?
It's not one of the biggest surprises. They absolutely are the biggest surprise. Where are they? Top 3 in the East?
Yeah.
That's wild considering what they lost. And the reason why they've been able to be that far up in the standings is for